Hello again. We are back with the Compaq 386s. I now have a DOS boot disk 6.22 and also Windows 3.1. Obviously these are my backup disks from the original. So now I will try and install Windows 3.1. Okay, so this is a DOS disk, so it's DOS 6.22, and to get one of these old computers working you have to boot it up with a DOS disk. So I've actually changed this now to Windows 3.11 for work groups. Windows 3.1 just didn't seem to work too good, and I had a lot of problems. I couldn't get the mouse working, even though I'd put the driver in. I'd also loaded the driver from DOS as well. I did buy an original Microsoft mouse, which still didn't work with 3.1, but I have got it working with 3.11. So as you can see, you boot up in DOS. I'm going to load the mouse driver just because it worked last time, so I will try it without. So it says mouse driver installed, so that's found it. So now you have to change to the C directory, which is where Windows is, and then it's CD Windows, which puts it into the Windows directory, and then if I press DIR it will show you everything that's in the actual Windows directory there. But what we need is Win, and then that will start Windows. All computers, 286, 386, 486, Pentiums, up until Windows 98, so up until Windows 95, you needed a DOS disk to actually start the computer. You could you could actually, in the auto exec bat and the config file, you could actually write a program in there which loaded all the drivers and then loaded the Windows directory automatically. So basically you'd start the computer up and it was in memory, and you could actually get into Windows without actually typing everything in. Okay, so here we are, we have the mouse working. This is Windows 3.11. This today is very basic compared to what we use now. So we have the A drive, which is 3.5 inch floppy of 1.44 megabytes. And again, that is just the DOS. So the B drive is the 5.25 inch, which is the old style. So they went from that to that. So there's nothing in there at the moment, so that's why it's saying there's nothing in the drive. This drive wouldn't take it, but these you could get double-sided, so you actually got nearly 3 megabytes rather than the 1.44, and you could also get 720, whereas these are the 144s. So C drive, that's the one I've got Windows on. So there's all the files, and then D, which again is another 40 megabyte drive. That's blank, so I'm going to put the actual DOS games on there. Because obviously some games take 6 discs, 6, 7, 8 discs, some even 11 discs. So I'd have multiple discs all the time. So I'm going to put them on the hard drive, and then when I've done that, we'll play some games.
This is a simple benchmark tool. As you can see, it's found at the Intel 386s CPU at 16 MHz, which is the equivalent speed of a 21 MHz 286 AT system, which had a maximum speed of 12.5 MHz for its fastest top model. This was the first 386SX 32-bit processor, but running on the 16-bit data bus for home use. The SX chip was also a cut-down version of the more powerful and more expensive DX chip. This also had a built-in VGA card, which, as you see, is clocking in at 3510.86, which was better than a mid-range graphics card of over $150. The benchmark you see is running very slow, but this was made for the full 32-bit 386 DX CPU. Most DOS games from the 90s had a minimum CPU spec of a 386DX. This 386S is more suited to older DOS titles up to the early 90s, but even then some will run slow and not even start.
So now that's all finished, what we'll try to do with this is give it a clean up. As you can see, it's very yellowed and very grimy and dirty. I have had a look inside. There was a bit of dust. I need to clean all that up, and I need to do the system clock. So that has actually got no charge whatsoever, so that needs doing, so we can save the BIOS settings. And I'm also going to see if I can fit this sound card. Okay, so it's an ISA, so the interface is ISA. And you'll find the games will have proper sound rather than the beeper sound that they have. So we'll see whether we can get this working as well. Tidy it all up, clean it all up, and then that will be in the next video.